everyone! Today's video is going to be a little bit different from what we've normally been doing here on the channel. I haven't done a DIY in a very long time on the channel, and I thought that today we'd get 3 DIYs in one video. And as you can tell, I am surrounded by plants. During the quarantine, I started loving taking care of plants and learning more about them and not killing them and being able to collect them and have an actual collection. So I really do love plants, and I thought that it would be super awesome to create 3 DIYs for plant lovers. These DIYs stem from me just having a lot of plants and also having a lot of time on my hands. So the first project that we're going to do is a propagation station. And if you don't know anything about propagation, I'm about to be your best friend if you want to get into plants, because this is the easiest way to not kill them. So certain plants can be propagated, and that means when you take a clipping where you just cut like a leaf off of a plant and you stick that leaf in water, it'll grow new roots and it'll turn into its whole own plant. So that's propagating. So a propagation station is just, a water station for plants. And I didn't create this DIY originally. I saw it on Etsy, but I wanted to create one that matched my space and that I could put my personal touch to. So we are making the propagation station, and what you're going to need for this project is some wood. So before you head over to your local hardware store to grab that wood, make sure you measure the length that you want your propagation station to be, depending on your space, so that when you go, you know what size wood you can get, and you can also ask the nice people at the store to cut the wood for you, because it just makes your life so much easier. So if you have those measurements, your life will be easier too, and you'll be in and out of the store so you can propagate plants. So we only ended up having to buy 1 piece of wood, and they cut that up into 3 different pieces for us. Since you're at the hardware store, if you don't have these tools, now would be a good time to buy them. You're also going to need a drill and a circular drill bit. So we actually were looking for an 1 1/8" size drill bit, but we didn't have any luck. So you could use an 1 1/4". And that size will be a little bit big for the tubes that we're going to be sticking in, but it still will work. Or you can be like us and do something a little smaller and sand it. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, just because it took a little time. I went in with the Dremel and had to sand it and make the opening wider. So if you could find the right size, save yourself some time. You're also gonna need some rope for this project, which I don't know if they sell at hardware stores. I'm pretty sure they do. But I actually had some rope left over from a macrame project, and it was pink and it's cute, so I was using that one. You can also use jute for this project, or chain if you really wanted to. You can customize it however you like. So now that you have your wood and your tools, we're ready to go back home. Now that you're home, I would say now is a good time to place an order for your vials. So I ordered these off of Amazon. They're plastic vials that come with little rubbery tops, which is perfect for cutting. I actually use these all around the house just to give my aerial root plants water so their leaves can grow bigger. Monstera. But put in an order of those. I'll link those down in the description, and now you're ready to start drilling into your wood. So the first thing I did is marked where we were going to drill our holes into the pieces of wood. And I spaced them out a lot just because I wanted the plants to be able to be bushy and not all on top of each other, but you can really personalize and customize the distance however you like it. So once you have those marked, go ahead and drill out those holes. Depending on how many you want to do, you can really go crazy with it. But remember, you're also going to need to leave some space on the edges of that piece of wood to drill smaller holes so you can fit your rope or your string or your chain, whatever you're using, so that it can, link together. So make sure to measure that out and drill them in the exact same places. Once you have everything drilled out, we went a little extra step and we sanded everything, stained it, you know, just so it can match the room a little more. Like I mentioned, I had to use the Dremel to sand the inside to make them bigger. Hopefully you'll skip this step. And once the wood was all prepped, now you can lay it out and start assembling it, which is pretty simple. I don't have the exact measurements that I used, but you pretty much just eyeball it depending on how low you want it to hang. So just stick your string or your rope at the bottom, tie it off into a knot on one end, and then you're gonna stick it through the other wood, loop it around to come around the other side and kind of like eyeball it. Go ahead and cut it off, and then you wanna stick it through the top and the bottom and then knot it off at the very bottom of the wood piece. I hope that makes sense. Then you are pretty much done. You just stick in your little propagation tools, add some clippings of your plants, put some water in there, and you got a nice little propagation station. This little guy is perfect for high traffic areas. You could even put it in places that don't really get a lot of sun. It just adds some nice green to a wall, and I love it so much. So the next project we're gonna do is pretty easy, but a little bit tedious. I don't know if you guys have seen those disco ball planters where they literally cut a disco ball in half and use the base as a planter and hang it. It is so cute, but I decided that I actually wanted to make a mirror pot or a party planter. That's what my Twitch chat called it. So what you'll need for this project is a pot. I just used a terracotta pot, some E6000 glue, and also your little glass squares. So you could order them off of Amazon. I will put a link in the description for those as well. But I mean, this one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to go into detail step by step of how I did this. You literally just glue it. But I will say that when you glue it, you wanna make sure you have gloves on, that you're in a well-ventilated area, because the glue is toxic, and also you don't wanna cut your hands when working with these glass shards. They're pretty sharp. But this project does take a while to do, but it's very rewarding once you have it done. I would say this is like an easy project to do just to pass time. While you're watching TV, or in my case, while you're streaming and hanging out with chat. So here's how my final potted plant came out, and I put a little Dieffenbachia in here. Loves it. I will say though, if you're gonna place it on, you know, a surface, to put something underneath, because I noticed that the glass can like scratch easily. So I just put a little coaster underneath and place it. Easy peasy. And the last DIY project that we're gonna create is actually a DIY that I've already done here on the channel 6 years ago. So we're gonna be creating gemellis. I'm actually going to link out to that original video because I'm probably gonna describe how to execute the actual geometric shape better than I will on this video. I will attempt it though if you don't want to go watch it. But we're gonna be making gemelli sun catchers. So I have seen these sun catchers become popular more in the recent years, and there are actually artists who create these and sell these on their stores. So I'm gonna link some artists in the description if you want to support the artists, and if you don't, for some weird reason, think you can't make this yourself. I always think it's really awesome to support artists, and I just wanted to give them a shout out in this video because this was not, you know, my whole original idea. I did get inspired from these artists to create this, and since I made the gemellis in a previous video, I thought that I had to do it. It's a throwback. So the plants that you're gonna need for this project are air plants, and I really don't have many air plants, so I was excited to add these to my collection. You're also going to need brass bars. I'm gonna link these in the description because I had to order them like 3 different times because I ordered the wrong size. So save yourself that hassle. You can use the link in the description for that. You're also going to need a brass cutter, and I have had this for the past 6 years. But alternatively, if you don't want to use the brass bars, you can also use straws, like the little bar straws. They're like little black ones, and they're like the perfect little size. And you can just spray paint them gold if you don't want to use the brass bars, or if you're trying to save some money for the projects. You're also gonna need some fish wire, these Suncatcher crystals, and chain, jump rings, little pliers to attach the jump rings and the chains and stuff. Pretty much any just jewelry making stuff. And also if you have any other like accessories that you want to hang or whatever, you can customize it to however you like. So to start off with the project, you need to cut your brass bars. And using this tool, I found that the lighter, the better. You really don't have to put a lot of pressure. You just tighten it a little bit and you rotate the brass pipe and you keep tightening and rotating, and eventually you can literally snap it apart. So for this particular project, I cut out 4 5-inch pieces, 4 2-inch pieces, and then whatever was left on the stick, I believe it was like 2 1/4 or something like that. But you're gonna wanna need 4 of each size, depending on whatever size you decide to go with. To create the actual geometric shape, start off with creating a triangle and adding your fish wire into those 2 triangles. You're gonna wanna have a long piece of fish wire because you're gonna need this for the whole project. Then you're gonna grab your 2-inch piece and you're going to add that on one side and then tie it together to create a little triangle, just like this. From there, you're gonna continue adding on your strands to make complete triangles, making sure to tie them off in a knot. Now, once you have your 3 triangles, you're gonna grab your last 2-inch piece and you're going to bend your pieces upwards so that it creates this geometric pyramid looking shape. Tie that off in a knot. You can add some nail glue here to, make sure that it stays put and that it doesn't go anywhere. And then you're just gonna tie on the base. So you can grab another piece of string here, or if you still have string left over. There are so many different ways to make this project. I still don't know the most efficient way, but connect all 4 of those pieces in the center, tie it off in a knot, add some more glue so it doesn't go anywhere, and then just tuck in the excess string that is sticking out so it looks nice and clean. So once you have that shape created, it's time for the fun part, in my opinion, and that is just decorating it. I added 4 different chains that come down from each side, and I attached some little heart crystals that I had laying around. Honestly, anything that sparkles in the sunlight, use it for this project. The actual crystal, I just hung that in the center, connected it with a chain, and just, made it hang a little bit lower than the other crystals. And then I had this little butterfly charm lying around, and I decided to add that in the center as well. And make sure to leave space for your little air plants to hang out in there too. Again, you can customize these to however you like, but just remember, since we're making sun catchers, try to use things that shine and catch the light for optimal rainbow effect. So that completes our 3 DIY projects for plant lovers. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I haven't done one in a long time like this, so please leave a like if it's something that you enjoyed. Make sure to come hang out on my Twitch, where I actually created some of these projects live with you guys. And I want to feature some projects that you all have made. So make sure to hashtag your creations with the hashtag CreateCQ, because I would love to see everything you do. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.